This is the practice test for test number 2 in Computer Programming 1, CSCI201. And the first thing we're supposed to do is we are supposed to declare an enumerated data type. And it's supposed to have the values paused, playing, and game over. And then we will need a variable of that type. And we'll just call it the same thing, except we'll make it with a lowercase g, kind of like we had before. We need to begin in the pause state and do nothing until the user presses the start button. Okay, we're going to have playing area rectangle. And we want that to be set to 50, 50, 700, 380. And what else do we need? We're going to have to be able to read the gamepad. So a gamepad state variable, call it pad1, and we need a previous pad1, and okay, there's some information in number 2 there about the state, and we'll worry about that when we get down to the update method. So we've got a playing area rectangle. We want to display it with a different color than the background. Okay, so what we will do is we will do a color variable, and we'll set that to color dot, we'll do Alice blue. Nice, that's probably a lot like cornflower blue, but that's okay, we can change it later. Keep the sprite on the playing area and all that you do. Scale your sprite. It should be 10% of the playing area width, but it should work regardless of what the dimensions of the playing area are. So that means we have to make it relative to playing area rectangle. So, and we have to read it in before we can do that. So let's go down here to load content, and I'm going to have to load in, I'm going to need a texture for my sprite. So let's go back up and do a texture 2D, and we'll just call it sprite. And let's go down here and let's read it. And it's going to be texture 2D, and it is called UFO. And we want to set the, okay, we want to scale it. So actually we're going to need a struct data type up here that holds all of those 9 variables that we need for using the other draw method that we need to use if we're rotating things. So I'm going to go get that and paste it in. Okay, I went and got it and copied it to the clipboard. Now I'm going to paste it in. And let me see, I left the word public off of these, I think. And let me get rid of these comments here, see if that's causing a problem. Okay, public, and let me see, I think maybe, what's my error message here, identifier expected, and maybe I I'm supposed to have semicolons here instead of commas. So okay, and I'm going to do Control E and a Control V just to clean it up and make it look nice. Okay. Now, actually I don't need a specific texture for the sprite. It's going to be one of the fields in here. So, sprite struct. And I'm going to call my sprite this, and it's going to have all of these fields. So now what I can do down here is I can do sprite dot texture equals, and that should get rid of my red wavy line. Okay, and then once I've got the texture, I want to scale it so that it is 10% of the width. So let me see. I need sprite dot scale is going to be, I need to take the current, okay, let's figure this out. What I need to do, the scale is going to be my screen width, which will be, what did I call that? Playing area. Whoops. Okay, so I want to take the width and I want to multiply it by 10%. And we'll make that float. And you know, in that case, this will give me 70 pixels. And I need to divide that by the actual number of pixels that are in my texture. So dot texture dot width. Okay. So this should give me, in this case, it should give me 70 pixels. And I'm just going to check it here. We'll put in a breakpoint there, and whoops, got to put a breakpoint in by clicking over there. And we'll run it. And when it gets to that point, we'll know when it gets there because it will turn yellow. Okay, we're still compiling. Okay, I gotta fix something here. I have a cheap graphics card on this computer, and that's what caused that problem. I just had to change the setting, and now we should be able to try to run it again. And I think it should work this time. And it has paused right there. And now if I pause the mouse over this, okay, now the sprite scale is going to be 0.127272. Okay, 127. And my playing area width is 700, and 10% of that would be 70. And the width of my item here is, come on, the width is 550. So if I take 550 times 0.12727, so let's try that on my calculator here. 550 times 0.1, I forgot what it was. What is it? 12727. 2727. I'm hoping I get about 70, and I do. So that's the correct formula for determining the scale. So we can stop the program now, and let's continue. I want to set the origin to the middle of the image. So sprite dot origin is going to be, and that's going to be a vector2, and the middle is going to be the sprite texture dot width divided by 2. That'll give me the x value, and then the sprite dot texture dot height divided by 2, and that'll put me right smack in the middle. That takes care of number 7. set the sprite's starting position to the center of the playing area. So sprite dot position equals, and now I got to compute the center of the playing area. So the x part, so this is going to be a new vector as well, and the x coordinate is going to be you got to go to the left edge, so it's going to be playing area rectangle, not color, dot left, that's the left edge, plus half of the width. So playing area rectangle dot width divided by 2, and that'll give me the center on the x. And then on the top, I got to take the playing area rectangle dot top, and then from there I want half of the playing area height divided by 2. Okay, and so that'll give me the precise center of the screen, and I want to make the sprite rotate continually regardless of any input from the user. So let's go up here and well, we'll just set this in initialize here. So we will initialize the rotation and 0.03f. Okay. Let's actually check out some of these other ones. We're doing the texture, we're doing the position. The source rectangle is going to be the whole thing. I can just use null for that when I do my draw command. The color, I'm going to make the color lime. Okay. I just did the rotation. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to start that off at 0. That's the angle. I need a rotation speed variable here too. So let's do float. Okay, so it'll be 3/100ths of a radian per tick of the clock, and down here, let's just get rid of that. It doesn't like it because it's a double, even though 0 is 0 no matter what. But now I've made it an int, and it's okay to put an int into a float. Well, let's get some drawing done down here now. Let's go down here and let's draw. So sprite batch dot begin and sprite batch dot end, and in between I want to draw the playing area. And I'm going to use a simple one here, so it's going to be playing area, and I don't have a variable for that, do I? And I don't have a rectangle either. Wait, I do have a rectangle for it, okay. And I do have a color. Okay, but I need to get texture, and so let's go up to the top here and let's declare a texture 2D, and we'll call it playing area texture. And I need to pull in just a plain white rectangle over here that I can use for a background. I'm going to pause and do that. Okay, I just imported a white square, and let's go down here and in load content. We also need to load in our playing area texture, and we need to do a content.load. And it's going to be texture 2D, and it's going to be called, probably should shorten its name. Okay, and now let's see. So that will draw the background. Let's just run that real quickly and see what we get. So we should get that Alice blue rectangle in the middle of everything else. Oh, I've still got a breakpoint in now. Let's get rid of the breakpoint and run it. And so Alice blue almost looks white. It's a very pale blue. And now let's go in here and let's draw. And this time I want version 6, I think is the one that we use. So I want sprite dot texture. I want sprite dot position. I want null for the source rectangle, which means use all of it. I want sprite dot color. I want sprite dot rotation. I want sprite dot origin. I want sprite dot scale. I want sprite effects. Dot none, and I want 0 for the layer depth. Okay, so that should get me a lime colored UFO, I think, right in the middle of the screen, and it should be about 10% of the width of the whole screen. So could I get 10 of those in there? And I think I probably could, so that looks about right. So let's stop that. And we are about 16 minutes into this video, so I think I'll stop here and we'll pick up the rest of it in a second video.